Hello, this is Heather Wibbles of MassageByHeather.com. I'm a licensed massage therapist in Kentucky and Tennessee. I've had several requests for a massage video for self-massage of the lower leg, the shin, the calf muscles, and the front of the calf. So go ahead and take a look and try this out while you watch. To begin this technique, you'll want to put just a little bit of lotion on your hand and put some on your legs. Don't put very much or you're not going to have a whole lot of grip, but do just put a little bit of lotion on your legs and kind of rub it in. We're going to start with petrissage, with kneading of the calf. So I've got my hands in a C shape like this. I'm going to roll my fingers down so that my thumbs are coming across the back of the calf. And I'm just going to do small squeezes back and forth. As you can tell, I'm leaning back and forth, so rather than moving just my arms, I'm moving my whole body. I'm going to do a series of squeezes up and down. My fingers are going across the front of the shin, and my thumbs again are massaging the gastrocnemius and the soleus, those two big muscles that are on the back of your calf. Once you've done a couple of up and down series of this kneading technique, we're going to do a little bit of work specifically on the calf muscle. So we're going to put our hands in that same C-clamp shape again, and when we clamp down, I'm going to put my thumb on the bottom part of the calf. My thumbs will be headed towards the floor, and I'm going to pull them up across the fiber of the gastrocnemius and the soleus muscles. So I'm going down, I'm going to squeeze my fingers together like a C-clamp and just pull up across the fiber of that big muscle on the back of your calf. I'm going to do a series of lines here. Just move down one finger at a time. I'm not going to work directly on the Achilles tendon. I'll work just above it and then come back up. Usually the calf muscle is so worked, especially in people who wear high heels a lot or people who stand all day, that a couple of series of these lines will feel really good on your calf muscles. So once you've done that, we're also going to work on the front of the shin. To work on the front of the shin, we're going to work on the tibialis anterior muscle, which is the muscle that starts up in here. It's very commonly involved in shin splints. It goes down into the foot and helps move the toes, helps extend the foot. So to do that, we're going to use two fingers, the first two fingers on your hand, and I'm basically going to do lines across the muscle. The muscle runs again from the knee down to the foot, so I'm going to go across the grain of the muscle fiber. So you won't be able to see this very well, but you'll take two fingers, put them on the bottom part of that muscle, and you'll feel it. It's usually pretty obvious that you've hit it because it'll feel a little bit tight. I'm going to pull up. So what you'll see is this as you're working on it yourself. But what I'm actually doing is focusing the pressure on my two fingers that are together and pulling those two across the grain of the tibialis anterior muscle on the anterior portion of the shin. So we'll do, like we did before, a line down and then a line back up. This also feels good for people who do a lot of walking, either as part of their job or as a hobby. Golfers, this can feel really good for. People who play basketball or volleyball, and tennis players because they do so much lateral movement. So we'll do a couple of lines down and back up with that method. And then we'll do something that's just sort of broad work on the calf muscle. I'm going to take my hands and just push away from me. And as I push, I'm leaning forward with my body, so my arms are not really doing the work. And I'm just going to do a series of these starting at the knee and then moving down the leg towards the ankle. If you find a sore spot either in the back of your leg or on the front of your calf, you can hang out there. For instance, I've got a knot back here on my soleus, so I'm going to put my thumbs together, find that tender spot, and just press and hold for 30 seconds to 2 minutes. That will help release that knot. You don't need to go terribly deep, but you should be able to feel a little bit of discomfort as you work on it. Sometimes a little lateral or left to right motion will actually help the knot release, but many times all you need is static pressure. So go through, find the tender parts either on the tibialis anterior on the front of the calf or in the gastrocs and soleus in the back of the calf. And a couple other things you can do that will help is just to do circles around the ankles. That will feel really good. And other things you can do, you can work around the Achilles tendon. Again, don't work directly on it. It can be pretty tight and uncomfortable if you work directly on it. But what you can do is squeeze around it. So put your fingers on top and your thumb on the bottom, and sort of like you'd be gripping a small tube. Just squeeze and pull up towards your calf. That'll kind of stretch out all the tissue around the Achilles tendon and open it up. Another thing you can do is work on the knee itself. What I like to do is just put my hands loosely together and do some circles around the knee and the kneecap. If you have knee issues, this will probably feel pretty good. And the other thing you can do is if you have your knee on the floor, you can just pull and make circles around the kneecap. Make sure you're leaning back, not pulling back with your arms. And you can also just do broad circles around the kneecap as well. So that gives you a number of tools to use to work on both the knee, on the shin, on the front of the shin, which is really good for shin splints and people who are wearing heels, and also on the calf muscle, which is nice for people who do a lot of standing. And then we did some ankle work and then some work around the Achilles tendon. I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit about how to do self-massage on your shins. Again, this is good for runners, bikers, people who stand all the time, teachers or nurses. It's also good for people who do a lot of work in high heels on concrete floors. So enjoy, and I hope this helps your legs feel better. Thanks so much. This is Heather Wibbles at massagebyheather.com.